showcase coming up in the East. I think it's Japan coming up here shortly. But it's just a continuation of the pitching thing, isn't it? Just continuation of what he's been doing with the home run showcase. And the other thing is he just added this pitching showcase because most people are only looking for guys that can throw in the 90s, and he's trying to give other kids an opportunity to be seen that can pitch but can't always top out at 95 and 100 miles an hour like most of the major league teams are looking for. They're looking for guys that can actually spin the ball and do things to get players out without having to throw it just past them.
Mm-hmm. And then you talked about having kids come in and working on skills. Now, do they come to you and apply for the academy, or do you recruit people to come? And how does one person get involved with what you're doing with the Power Showcase?
Well, there's a lot of people involved with it. Like I said, I got involved because Brian called me out in this area, obviously because of the amount of players in the Southwest here. I mean, Southern California is a hotbed of baseball players, and he didn't have anybody in this immediate area where I live or surrounding it that could come to him and say, I got a guy here or there that are interested, and show them, what they can and can't do and where they can go. As far as the training aspect of what I do, I have my own cage and pitching area, fielding area at my home, and I have both things that happen. People come to me, I advertise, excuse me, and that's how that all takes place. I've had the opportunity through some of the guys that I've coached with to be able to work with and train guys over the years. Tyler Saladino was a young man who played for me with the Power, who I knew then he had the opportunity to play because the kid can play anywhere, and he definitely showed he had the opportunity. Aaron Brooks, who's now back with Oakland, played for us, and he definitely at that point had a lot of people looking at him, and he's had kind of a struggle where at first when he went with Kansas City, first thing they told him is, Aaron, you throw too many strikes. You got to learn to throw around the strike zone a little bit more. And did well with them, went to Oakland, and with Oakland started several games, then got traded from there to the Cubs where he got injured in the last half of the season, got traded to Milwaukee, which he never did fully recover. Well, he fully recovered, it got re-signed, and is now starting again for Oakland. So quite a up and down, but success story for that young man who's just from San Bernardino, close here.
That is amazing, too, and how can one persevere and everything else as well, too. So, and do you also offer, like, any classes, like, through videos or, say, one-on-one, or you come out to a location or anything?
I have done all of those things. I do a lot of one-on-one. I've done a lot of team training. I have people ask me to come out for 1-2 hours at a time to help work with their youth programs, travel team programs, that type of stuff. And I've had good success. I think the biggest thing with young kids, and especially nowadays, you have to be honest with them about where we're at and how we're going to get to where we want to go. Because there's only 750 guys in the major leagues, and it's a pretty steep pyramid, but you want to give those young guys every opportunity to find out how they can get better and improve, and just be honest with them. And that's what I found has been my success. I know that's not what everybody seems to do nowadays, but it's worked for me, and the kids appreciate it, and the parents, when it comes right down to it, that you're not just trying to sell them a bill of goods because they're giving you a couple bucks to kind of work with their child.
Right, that makes sense, too. And, of course, having a realistic measures that everybody wants to be like, say, the next Alex Rodriguez or, say, the next, Melky Cabrera and everybody like that. But, of course, it's a reality check and what they can do and can't do. So that's just one of the things that's also good, too. So we'll get to more about baseball as well, too. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking a budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, watch the interview on YouTube as well. You can also catch the Mike Wagner Show coming soon to TLBTV.com. That's the Liberty Beacon TV network. You can catch the Mike Wagner Show coming to your device real soon. We're here with Mike Schulz. One time worked as associate scout with the Cincinnati Reds and Kansas City Royals. He also is a scout and trainer at Power Showcase, Hormone Derby, and Pitching Showcase, and also worked for Coco Crisp, who once upon a time played for Cleveland Indians, Shadow Hills Night Baseball, hitting coach at U.S. Baseball, and many others. So, just talking about Coco Crisp as well, too. So what's it like working for him, especially when he played for the Indians?
Coco is very knowledgeable of the game, and he's only been coaching high school kids for a couple years, so he's learning about the ups and downs of dealing with guys that are doing it because they love baseball, but at the same time, I'm not understanding sometimes they got to get grades in order to keep playing. You got to remind these guys that they're called student athletes for a reason, and that student comes first. But Coco this year gave me the opportunity to be his pitching coach, and he pretty much just turned things over to me and let me work with the young men, with the pitchers and the catchers, and checked in and see how we were doing in games and stuff. And every now and then we discuss, how certain guys are doing. He evaluated them on his point. But he's great to work with. I know he had some major injuries in his career, but watching him out there, he could probably go back and play right now if he really wanted to. He still had teams last year trying to talk him into it. He can run.
I'm sure
he's a great guy to work with.
And I'm sure the Cleveland Indians are probably calling him by now, because when they get to the pennant drive, they'll probably call him up and say, "Hey, can you come back?" And of course, speaking of baseball, we know it's early, and just to get an idea of so far, like with who's going to be who's going to be say in the pennant race for the second half, who's going to make it in the long run, or who's going to start trading players. So maybe just a quick assessment on some of the teams as well too. We know it's early in the season. Maybe just some projections on who's going to make it to the playoffs or the World Series, or who's going to be having a fire sale on a lot of players if they start being below 500, like say the Miami Marlins, or say like the San Francisco Giants.
Well, I would say the Marlins are pretty much where they plan on being from what I read and hear, because they're in that growth period. They got rid of their better players and brought as many young guys as they can in and give them that opportunity to grow from within. Jeter's got a plan, and he seemed to know what he was doing. When he was with the Yankees, learned a lot there. So I have all the faith in him. Matterly's there. They've got some guys that know the game. I think right now the biggest one that you mentioned is like the Giants, undecided where they're going to go, whether Baumgartner stays, goes. That's been a rumor out there for a while, but you don't know. Like I said, it's early. I think the Dodgers have been playing well. I would be remiss if I didn't say my Brewers I thought were doing quite well as Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Coming along and learning.
And it sounds like it, too, that Milwaukee seems to have that element as well, too, with Christian Yelich. It's like, he's smashing records left and right. They're making, like, Gorman Thomas, Robin Yount, Paul Molitor all seem very insignificant. So, I guess the thing with the Milwaukee Brewers is like, we think they necessarily need to, finally get them over the top, especially losing by a game or two to the L.A. Dodgers in the for the National League pennant last year.
Yeah, I think it's like anybody pitching and more pitching. I think they're trying to do it with the bullpen guys they have and the starters that they do have. But I think that, although I was proven wrong last year when they made it to the championship in the National League, that they had to pick up some pitcher there. They picked Gio back up, but I that would be my thought. I don't know. Not in the rain room. I don't know. I think it would be a lift. I just don't know where and if they got the money to spend to get the right guys.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the two Tampa Bay, who had been stuck in the middle between the Yankees and Boston, they're off to a good start as 19-10 as well too. So, what do you think the secret of success is so far?
I think it's just consistency with the guys that they've got and that they've traded for and picked up in free agency. They're again on a low budget. They're hoping supposed to get a new stadium. I've been down and by their old stadium, and it's tough to get to. It's pretty traffic bound. It's not near an interstate or anything, but I just think they just keep persevering and keep teaching kids and young men how to play the game properly and let them have the chance to succeed. Because in a lot of organizations, you're not going to get that if Jeter's the shortstop and you're a shortstop in the lower level. You're going to have to figure out, can I play second or can I play third? And then at that point, am I going to get traded? And that's the way of the game nowadays. There's so much money involved that you got the higher level guys getting major dollars and the rest just trying to figure out how they can get on a team and contribute and hold on.
And, of course, speaking of money as well, too, that Alex Rodriguez broke the $100 million barrier, quite some time ago. Now you got Manny Machado that signed for $300 million with the San Diego Padres. Then later you got Bryce Harper signing $330 million with the Philadelphia Phillies. And then Mike Trout of the Angels literally smashed it with $435 million. So just give us your thoughts on that. And do you think that's going to hurt, say, getting better pitchers, better players to support these really high-paying guys at over $300 million? Next thing you know, it could be $500 million, $750 million, or close to $1 billion player.
Yeah, Mike, that's an extremely good question that I think a lot of people are grappling with. Can you pay Trout $400 million and Harper and Machado, and then what do you pay the guy who has to catch for them, field for them, drive them in? Those guys can only do so much. I know they're franchise-type players, but you still got to put people around them. And I think Trout's probably the example more than anything, as much as the Angels have had some good squads. They've had to been weak with their pitching, and they had put through a lot of money at players that didn't work out. And Pujols was still playing for them, but it's a tough thing to figure out how do I get a quality guy if I bring him up from my system, and then after 6 years, how do I keep him?
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part.
And it's amazing. Albert Pujols signed over $100 million, smashing Alex Rodriguez back then. And it's amazing he's still playing at a really consistent level, not the really high level like he did with the Cardinals, but still consistent. And it's amazing how can the Angels are paying guys that are over $100 million, especially with two of them. It's like, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's difficult, In Anaheim, L.A. Angels, whatever they want to be called now. I guess it's L.A. Angels.
Don't worry about it. I'm lost on it too.
They're a small market team. They consider themselves a small market team, although I don't really think they are the amount of people down in that Orange County area. But they have to be able to put a product on the field that is going to want to bring people to see them play, and not just Trout. And that's always a challenge. And the biggest thing is finding guys through the draft, that are going to be able to help you in the future, as well as some key acquisitions with young guys that maybe didn't quite make it with the team they're at and looking for another opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tough. This splash with Trout is probably better received than most of the other ones they made, except maybe for the Pujols trade or signing, because he's considered such a area kid now. He's been out here so long, even though his roots are back in New Jersey in that area. He's the kind of guy that you want your players to play like. He plays hard. He plays as many games as he can, 162. And the next thing, he just goes out and does his job and shows what he can do, but how he does it, not telling everybody how good he is.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing as well too, and it's something you just teach future players, and you know whatever else too, and of course you know just being from Beaver Dam as well too, and traveling, of course, you know, watching the Milwaukee